good, beer is good, beer is good, and stop.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of The Beer Chasers. I'm Preston. We're joined once again by Mike from The Bar Podcast. Mike, how's it going?
I'm good. We're here at Rapp Brewing here in Seminole, Florida. We're going to go in, take a brewery tour, and try some of their beers.
Yeah, so we know about their peanut butter chocolate stout, but they've got 19 other amazing beers. Like I said, we're going to do a brewery tour. We're going to talk with Walter. We're going to try some beers. I'm super excited. You ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's drink some beer. All right, so we're here with Walter, tasting room manager, Rapp Brewing. Walter, how's it going?
Very well, thank you.
Let's just jump right into it. Tell us a little about kind of how Rapp got started. How long has Rapp been around? Kind of what was the story?
Greg's been brewing beer for many years. He started with wine and sake when he was a teenager, I was told, just as a hobby. And, it runs in the family line, so definitely brewing anything is right up his alley. And we've been doing spectacular beers now for almost 4 years.
Yeah, so this location here is 4 years old?
In September.
And you mentioned a little bit about, from what I read, it was his grandfather or great-grandfather has a huge lineage in like German brewing.
Exactly.
So that's a lot of like the styles here at Rapp are kind of German influence.
Exactly. Mostly German styles. We've got a couple of IPAs. We do sours and saisons.
Very cool. So if we can, let's talk a little about your brewery setup here. So kind of talk us through like your setup, your typical brew days, and...
We start usually about 8, 9 in the morning, and we have 2 shifts. We've multiple brewers that come in and do everything needed to make excellent beer. Usually takes about 4 hours to brew a beer from start to finish. We move into fermenters and then transfer those into either an ale or lager chamber.
Yeah, 7 days a week, 5 days a week?
We brew, I'd say, 6, 7 days a week.
And how many different styles of beer do you guys normally take on?
Last count was 112 different recipes now. We have 44.
Not all at the same time.
Exactly, yes.
So you do kind of rotate them out in like shifts, one month you're doing some. And...
We typically do 2 recipes a day, usually 6, 7 days a week. And we do try and stick within seasonal references as far as, your spring lagers in spring and your heavier beers in the winter time and so on and so forth.
Cool. Talk a little bit about the setup. So you have a barrel and a half system set up
Technically a barrel and a half system. We have a 75-gallon kettle, 2 75-gallon kettles that allows for boil over and such. We usually yield about 48 gallons per batch. That goes into 6 quarter-barrel kegs.
Very cool. And you mentioned it too, you have a couple different fermentation chambers that we checked out today.
Correct. We have a specific ale chamber and a specific lager chamber to maintain those temperatures.
Very cool. So you touched on it a little bit. You said you got 20 taps.
Always 20 taps of our own beer.
What are the stars? Do you have any kind of regular occurrences? Are you switching them out?
Constantly switching. We try and maintain our award-winning Goza, salty sour wheat beer, best beer in the state of Florida 2014, as well as our most popular beer, the chocolate peanut butter stout.
If anybody knows Rapp, absolutely knows the chocolate peanut butter stout is definitely where it's at.
We've recently added the Caribbean ginger beer to that list.
Very cool.
So we're trying to maintain that as a staple as well. Modeled after a ginger ale soda, slightly sweet, but also 20 pounds of fresh cut ginger.
Wow. You guys do some pretty big Oktoberfest things as well, because you guys are German influenced.
Many excellent lagers and ales specifically for Oktoberfest.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier, so we took a tour to the brewery, and your lager fermentation area is pretty impressive, pretty large space, and not a lot of people in Florida are doing that.
Exactly.
It's very cool. So I guess...
Lagers take a lot of time and effort, and a lot of patience, and a lot of skills, and I think we do them like nobody else.
What do you think separates Rapp from necessarily other breweries in the area, besides what you just said? You always got to be clean, have everything kind of organized. But in terms of beers, what, in your opinion, sets Rapp, possibly ahead of the other ones?
Attention to detail, most likely. I have not been to every single brewery yet, but I'm still working on it. They keep popping up.
They keep popping up, yeah.
It's really difficult to keep ahead of the game there, but our unique styles that also are most attention to original German styles, and I think that is our niche that is really special to Rapp. Greg's a family man. He's very. The heritage is a big thing for them. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've always loved about this brewery. And I've been here a couple of times, just haven't had a chance to come and set up for filming. But it is German influence, and I love German beers. And there aren't a 30-year board up there as IPAs or pale ales or double IPAs. You have a couple because those are popular right now. You kind of have to have some, but
almost have to. Yeah.
You have a nice spread of beers, and there's pretty much a beer style that everybody is going to come in and at least find something they like.
Absolutely.
I think that selection is what I think puts you guys ahead of most breweries, is that you have 20 beers on tap, and you don't have much duplicates. You have a couple IPAs, but they're a double IPA, an IPA, and a red IPA.
All
it's
different.
not
Exactly.
3 single IPAs or 3 double IPAs. So the variety, I think, is nice for me as a customer coming in.
Another point I would have made absolutely that sets us apart is our multitude of beers that you can choose from. Always having 20 of our own on tap.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, are we in distribution? Can we find your beer outside of Rapp?
Yes, we distribute through Great Bay and Pepin. Pepin handles Hillsborough, Great Bay for the other counties. We distribute typically around 4 or 5 of our recipes. The Goza, the Berliner, the North German Alt beer, the Hefeweizen, things like that. Staple German styles that are done very well and that we want to keep within the greater Tampa Bay area for freshness. And so you can go to your local pub or restaurant and find those styles available.
Very cool. So we're here 4 years now at Rapp. So looking in the future, kind of what's going on? Are we expanding? Are we doing a bottling, a canning line, anything like that? Or
Less than a year ago, we acquired the unit next door. We are slowly but surely expanding, hopefully bringing in a more air-conditioned space for the tasting room.
we're definitely staying where we're at, just kind of renovating and remodeling
Absolutely.
here in this location in Seminole.
Absolutely. No hard plans of second or third location or anything like that. There's always talk about installing a larger brew system, things like that, just to make more beer for more people. But we will always stay in the Tampa Bay area.
What about contract brewing?
As far as bringing in
contracting
outside,
some of the beers out to a brew hub or another company that
of course,
to help
that's
you in a distro.
correct. As well as a canning line, those have been talked about in the past, but as far as my knowledge is concerned, we're not really planning on doing any of that. It is difficult to keep up with our distribution just because we do brew on such a smaller scale, but we kind of appreciate it that way, and we're able to give it that attention to detail.
Right, yeah.
So the more beer you make, the harder it is, and
Yeah.
the freshness factors are
It's a
crucial.
big factor, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'd rather you do fewer styles and less quantity, but do them well. So every time you come in, you know what you're getting. It's a consistent experience than
Absolutely.
having all this grand distribution, but it doesn't always taste the same every time you have it. Like I think even as much as I love Cigar City, with the brew hub stuff, sometimes that highlight doesn't quite taste the same as the last time you had it, and it could be still fresh. It's not a freshness versus not fresh. It's just where it's being brewed and the attention to detail might not be
Exactly.
the same at each location.
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, all this talk about beers kind of get me thirsty. You mind if we try a couple of your staples?
Mine as well. No, absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. All right, we'll get right back. All right, so we're back, and Walter's been gracious enough to provide us with a couple of good samples here. Walter's going to walk us through it. So what do we have today?
On the outside, gentlemen, you have a hibiscus saison,
Very
brewed
interesting.
with the actual hibiscus flower, named after the style of saison is named after the yeast. You get kind of a funkiness to it. Resembles a farmhouse ale, if you've ever had anything like
Yeah,
that.
you get that that very saison-y kind of funky yeast smell, and you think it's going to be a sour bomb, but it's not. It's actually
It mellows out.
Nice.
Very floral. Yeah.
As Bob Sylvester from St. Somewhere Brewing in Tarpon Springs would say, not all saisons are sour.
Yeah.
Not all are tart.
I'm slowly learning that. Usually the ones that taste like the wet horse blanket kind of
Yes.
saison, those are the ones I try to avoid. But no, that's really
This
good.
is really good.
It
yeah.
all comes down to balance. And again,
Yeah.
that attention to detail is most crucial.
Absolutely.
And it has like this sweetness kind of on the back end that kind of comes and kind of supports all that.
From the floral aspect.
Definitely not a sour saison.
We also have a chrysanthemum saison, one of my favorites, that will be out in a couple of weeks. And we have a brand new recipe. It's a rye saison that
Oh, wow,
should be
yeah.
out in maybe a month or so.
Very cool.
The next one.
The next one down is our award-winning gold medal in all of its categories for the last 2 or 3 years running now. Went on to win best beer in the state of Florida in 2014. It's a Goza.
The Goza,
It's
okay.
a 1,000-year-old recipe from Germany. I believe the town was called Goslar, Germany. It's they were salt miners, and they locally sourced coriander to brew in their beers.
Wow.
And it wasn't until somebody horse and buggied in from another town and said, "Oh my gosh, this is salty." They were like, "What are you talking about? We're salt miners. Everything's salty." So that's how the Goza came about.
There is no doubt why that is a gold medal winner.
Yeah.
That is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
All right.
I had this earlier before we started recording. I was like, wow, this is so good. So good.
Generally, I'm not a sour guy, but these are the ones that I do like where it's just that hint of it. Is this a kettle sour or is this a full sour?
Every sour we have is kettle sour.
And those are the ones I tend to like because they're not just in a sour attack where it's like, oh, it's so good.
Right.
The pucker, but
You might be experiencing a Brettanomyces souring at that point. We use lactobacillus, so it's a little more subtle.
Okay.
Real subtle on the coriander and the salt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gozas out there. Back in the day, RateBeer.com had us the #1 goza in the world.
I wouldn't doubt it.
We've fallen down the ladder a little bit just because there's so many gozas out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most people have had the Anderson Valley from California.
Yeah, that's good.
There's another one in South Carolina. I'm forgetting the name at the moment. It starts with a W, but it's
Wicked Wheat.
No, that's North Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah, Asheville. But
One of those Carolinas.
yeah, exactly. South Kakalaka. But it's a very good sour as well. But I think the complete balance from start to finish what makes us
amazing.
the award.
That's
Amazing,
fantastic.
yeah.
And I've always told people about the chocolate peanut butter stout, but the Goza is now definitely going to rotation. That's another one you have to try.
Absolutely.
I always advertise it as an adult Gatorade. It's the
totally.
It's the perfect Florida beer.
Yeah.
You've got your electrolytes. It's refreshing. It's what you crave when you're out on the beach, by the pool, on the boat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We try and keep it on tap at all times.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
The next one down is my personal brew, Greg's Recipe. We've tweaked the recipe over the last 10 batches or so.
Crystal clear.
Very
water.
clear. It's modeled after a ginger ale soda.
Okay.
It uses 20 pounds of fresh cut ginger root rather. And we also utilize a little bit of habanero pepper to make that root linger longer.
See,
on
when
the
you-
palate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can
definitely
smell it
smell
right
ginger on
away.
the
Oh
palate.
yeah.
That is our Caribbean ginger beer. Probably closest to maybe a Jamaican ginger beer.
Yeah, I would say that.
A lot of people love it. You either love it or it's not for you. But even the people that say it's not, something I could drink a whole pint of, they still take a growler home and make Moscow Mules or or a Dark and Stormy, the national beverage of Bermuda.
Yeah.
So it's a phenomenal beer.
I don't know much about the style. I've had maybe 1 or 2 ginger beers, but like I say, it's definitely a style. It tastes great. Good smell. I mean, you definitely taste it. And I like that pepper kick. I mean, it's just kind of
Just
there.
a hint,
just
yeah.
enough of it.
Exactly.
To keep
Not
the
like my
linger going.
habanero.
I always like to say, here at Rapp, we believe in subtle.
Or even balance. I mean, it's in the fact that it's balanced.
Yeah.
Everything plays well nice together.
Yeah, it's great.
It does. I hate to say it, but it's a great combination beer too. If you ever want to experiment, you can put a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and mix it up. I actually just recently acquired some coconut syrup. We obviously have the syrups available for traditional Berliner Weisses, including Woodruff we import from Germany. And we put some coconut syrup in the ginger beer. Now, it obviously made it a little sweeter, but it was very unique.
Oh, I'm
Very
sure.
flavorful.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very island-like.
What we got here?
The next one down, I was mentioning earlier how we do lagers very, very well. This is the Vienna lager,
Okay, great.
Vienna Austrian recipe.
Love
It's,
German lagers. Love them.
It's outstanding lager. It's a medium body, medium malt, very crisp drinking, beautiful. Another awesome Florida beer, if you ask me.
That hits style. Spot
great.
on.
Perfect.
Spot on.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of creaminess, a little bit like a little hop, but it's balanced.
It's sweet and malty, exactly what you want.
Yeah.
But not like thick and cloying and like kind of that nasty sweetness.
Yeah.
Love Vienna.
Spot
That's great.
on, yeah.
Spot on.
Fantastic.
My appreciation for lagers has gone tenfold simply because of the lagers that we have here. And it's refreshing. It's clean and crisp.
Like we mentioned before, they take a little more time. You have to baby them a little bit, but your patience pays off in the long run because that cold yeast, it works slower. It really cleans those beers up, and it really makes them really nice and tasty.
Yeah.
All of our beers are unfiltered, but you still get amazing clarity out
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
here the one on the end.
Especially the lagers.
All of them except for the darkest
Stout,
It's pretty,
yeah.
it's
The
pretty
next
clear.
one down on your tasting is the chocolate peanut butter stout. We can't make enough for barely the tasting room. We occasionally showcase this at a few beer events. We've done variations of this beer. It's by far our most popular beer. We don't sell kegs of it. We don't distribute it. It's it's dessert in a glass.
Happy now. Yeah.
We,
Not happy.
we do ratings 5 out of 5. We do the typical, the smell, the taste, the appearance overall. Very few beers have we ever given a 5 out of 5, but that's one in the category that pretty much the smell, the taste, the mouthfeel, everything about it is exactly what you want in peanut butter chocolate stout. I mean, I can't think of any improvements. There's nothing I can say like, well, it's great, but we could use a little more of this or that. But
There's so many reviews on this nationally that we've gotten notoriety above and beyond.
Well, I think you have 2 5s right here in the Goza.
Oh, the Goza, yeah, for
and
sure.
And the Pastrami peanut butter,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's a very fair assessment. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, we've not competed with the chocolate peanut butter, but
You haven't put it into a competition?
as far as I know, I've only been with the tasting room for less
It's
than
almost
2
not even
years.
fair. It's like, you know what, just, we know we're going to win.
We already know it's legit.
We got so many medals already.
Yeah, we don't need
We're kinda
it.
getting
We know
heavy.
we're good.
Exactly.
The thing you mentioned, maybe this is an IPA, the double.
I did want to bring an IPA to the table. One of my favorite IPAs, and I am not at all a hophead whatsoever.
Thank goodness. Neither of us.
I appreciate well-balanced
Right.
beers, and including IPAs. I don't want anything that's going to be bittering in the front, maybe in the end. I use IPAs on my personal palate for a cleanser, kind of like a sour or saison for most.
Sure.
That hoppiness is there. It's we use, I think, 5 different kinds of hops, including this particular variety, or this batch rather, is dry hopped with
So
mosaic.
good. That's really good.
Mosaic hops are some of my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
A little more expensive, a little more difficult to acquire.
Right.
But we dry hop it with that mosaic hop at the end,
Oh.
and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It's hoppy, but
great.
it's not like melting your teeth, but there's a nice malt balance. Another home run. Dude, I love it.
I mean,
And
this
again,
is
we
what-
don't like IPAs
Yeah, this is
at all.
what it should be, a double
Yeah.
IPA. Is you're not getting too much hop, you're not getting too much malt. It's supposed to be an equal balance of all.
I think there's room for both ends of the spectrum, right? If people want their teeth melted, that's fine, but like I prefer this style much
Way more,
more than the other one.
absolutely.
Now, what would you gentlemen guess the alcohol by volume is on that double IPA?
Oh, geez, it doesn't taste hot.
It doesn't
So, I mean,
taste alcohol-y, but I'm going to say 9%.
I'd say somewhere in the 8% range.
9.7.
Oh!
We've had batches as high as 10.5, I believe. Being a small
Wow.
craft brewery, every
Yeah.
batch is a little
Yeah.
different.
Right.
But none of our beers taste exactly. To me, none of our beers taste boozy.
Yeah.
You don't feel that you're drinking a high gravity beer. Some of our barrel aged stuff, maybe, but
Yeah.
still not boozy or hot whatsoever.
That's so good.
And
oh my God.
that's something I appreciate.
That's unbelievable.
Because the darker, heavier beers is what I came from.
Right.
Ironically, your palate changes over a course of
Yeah.
time,
Right.
and now I prefer the lighter styles, the
Right.
sours, the saisons.
It's funny because I started with IPAs and then found sweet and malty, and I just got into stouts maybe a year or two ago. So like you said, your palate's continually adapting to where some of those big bready Belgians that I used to love almost make me gag sometimes when they're too Belgian-y, So it's
Right.
like it's so weird.
That was my shtick for a long time.
Yeah.
Tripels, quads,
Yeah.
and now I'm just like, whoa. And if they're done really, really well and not hot or boozy, yes,
Yeah.
I can still enjoy them.
Right.
But
the sippers.
yeah. Now I prefer a more sectionable beer,
Well, the only problem
something you
now
can sit
is
down with.
Right, absolutely.
we've had 6 of these, and there's 14 more to go because these have been so great. I think I want to try everything, but maybe I'll get a
We don't
DD
have
for
time
us.
for
Yeah,
it,
or
yeah,
time or a
yeah.
DD. But awesome, Walter. Thank you so much for your time.
My
Thank you for
pleasure.
the tasting. Thank you for
Anytime,
showing us
gentlemen.
around.
Great. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I think that's going to wrap us up today. In closing, is there anything you want to tell the Beer Chaser audience?
Come out and see us. We're open 7 days a week.
And what do you know what hours? You guys open around 2 or 3 usually?
We're open 3 p.m. every day, except for Saturdays at 2 p.m. And we're here till 10 o'clock on weekdays, 12 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock on Sundays. Unless there's a sporting event on, we'll try and stay open for you guys.
No kitchen, but generally food trucks are usually out here.
Food trucks 6 days a week. We try and mix them up quite often. We have, I believe, around 35 food trucks in our rotation.
Oh my gosh. You guys pull off so much with so little.
Exactly.
That's remarkable.
It's great.
Small tasting room, small brewery,
Yeah.
But
big beers.
stellar beers, man.
Thank you.
Everything's been great. Great people, great location, great beers, everything you want. So definitely come check these guys out. Support Rapp Brewing here in Seminole, Florida. I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm Preston, Mike, we're the Beer Chasers. We'll see you later.
Beer is good, beer is good, beer is good. And stop. Beer is good, beer is good, beer is good. Let's go drink some beer.
dude.